My name is Janet Hale, and I am part of the class consulting group. So what I did the first week is laid a foundation of understanding sort of the difference between being a curriculum designer, which is sort of like an architect who's working on the building plans or blueprints, versus the contractor, the teacher, if you will, who is going to be building that house based on the blueprints. They really begin to look at standards through a different lens than maybe what they had in the past, more so truly designing bottom up. I'm excited to say that I'm working very closely with the head of English programs, and we are working on really determining for Pathway 1 and Pathway 2 learners of English, what is it that they need to know as a foundation based on the standards, and then where do we want them to go in their pathways once they have a better command of English and are ready for some more difficult or more complex standards. And I look forward to my time with them throughout this academic year.
The work of creating and aligning a rigorous classroom assessment system begins first with the idea of being student-centered and learning outcome-based. Now, the benefits of approaching assessment in this way are enormous. For teachers, teachers craft a collaborative vision of what student work looks like, of what high successful expectations can be for students. And for students, students have an opportunity to take an active role in their assessment. By knowing in advance what the learning expectations are, what they look like, and how they'll be assessed, students work collaboratively with teachers to be able to articulate what they know and what they need. And when needs are discovered, students work with teachers to craft the plan to help them succeed. This approach is used by high-performing schools all across the world.
How do I evaluate my teachers? Well, what I do is I do observations, and they're unannounced, they're short, and they're informal. And I'm also watching the students. And so I'm doing two things. I want to know what the teacher is doing and saying, and how the students are responding. And now the most important part of evaluating a teacher is the debrief after. So within 2 to 3 days, can't go much longer than that, 2 to 3 days, I meet with the teacher in a debrief. It's about 30 minutes, and in that I praise the teacher for all the good things that I saw. Make sure to attend to those things that are really good, and also provide a few suggestions, 2 or 3 suggestions for improvement. It starts with, what do I want my teachers to be like? So I have to define what is a quality teacher. And then from there I work backwards to the behaviors, the words, what's the environment that the teacher has created. And from there, I have created a framework whereby I can go in and observe my teachers and my students to make sure that I'm getting the best quality teachers.
There are really 6 categories or areas of competency for school leaders, and I've often, in fact I regularly use the framework of constructing a bridge to understand how those areas of competency interact with each other. First is the foundation of the bridge, and here we talk about values and beliefs. Are they known? Are they clearly articulated? Are they shared? Secondly, you have the substructure of the bridge. What we mean there is supporting and connecting everything that the school is about to the beliefs and values. So is there consistency? In a bridge construction, there's something called bearings, and these are actually the moving parts of a suspension bridge. Basically, be flexible, and in order to be flexible, leaders also have to be involved in the school. You can't be a distant leader. The girders of a bridge, those are those beams that go underneath the bridge. Those girders look different based on the bridge and its context. And so what that illustrates is school leaders must have the ability to contextualize and adapt. A 5th area, I see it as the superstructure of the bridge. It's that which is most visible in our leadership. And here what we're talking about is culture and relationships. And then a 6th area of competency can be illustrated by the deck of the bridge, that flat surface that should be clearly marked. We know where we're going. It's all about clarity and order. You get those 6 elements together, what we find is high levels of trust. And this is what I'm able to offer and walk alongside school leadership teams, is to assess what are the areas for developing greater levels of trust.
How can we build a school climate, one that keeps us in line with international standards, while also where we hold true to our indigenous spirit? We apply research-based strategies. We apply strategies built on building morale, trust, empathy, and support. And ultimately, we are consistent with our practices. We build a school system that has a strong reputation for not only results, but also for the treatment of people. We have to remember that people are what drive cultures. What is expected of me as a student? What is expected of me as a parent? What is expected of me as an educator and administrator? That, ladies and gentlemen, is how climate and culture is built.